Hello and welcome to Craven Cottage. It's the early kickoff here in the Premier League. There's 3 games to go for Manchester City in this title race, and I am joined by a man who's represented both clubs, in particular one of our favourites on MatchDay Live, Michael Brown. Brownie, how are you feeling?
Yeah, feeling good. Sun's shining, wonderful setting, fabulous pitch. It's a great old traditional stadium with a little bit of new on this side as well. So special days, the 12:30 kickoff. What a big week of football we've got, and this doesn't get any more exciting, this FG. Hopefully a brilliant day.
Hopefully a brilliant day, indeed. We'll have the team news for you very, very shortly. I want to just quickly ask you about 12:30 kickoffs. Pasta in the morning for breakfast. What was your go-to?
You're asking the same question. I know you've asked that to one of our guests later on as well. So, I mean, that's, you know, you've got to get a bit new. You know, for me, it was always a little bit of chicken, a little bit of pasta. I think when it was an early kick-off, I went a little bit more towards just a bit of scrambled egg on toast, a little bit of brown bread, a little bit of toast, nice hydration drinks, getting yourself ready, and maybe a nice treat, a muffin, getting closer to kick-off, FG.
A muffin before the game?
Yeah, just a little bit of a sugar intake, a little bit of a buzz. Yeah, it's just what I got used to it, and I could run around. I remember stopping at a little coffee shop just here. Regular on the way in. You had to set off early with the Fulham traffic, little cup of tea and a little muffin before I got here.
Did you keep your routine always the same on a match day, or did you change it up for the kick-off time?
I did try and keep that routine, but the diet side of it for the 3 o'clock was more like just an egg on toast rather than a meal. For the later game was more of a chicken and a bit of plain pasta. That was the only one. Not too much on match day. It was always the night before for me.
We absolutely love it. Listen, let's bring you that team news. We'll start, of course, with Manchester City, who make one change from the last game. In goal is Ederson, and then it is Akanji, Diaz, Ake and Josko Vardiol. Then it is Rodri, Mateo Kovacic, Kevin De Bruyne, our captain today, Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden and Erling Haaland. The substitutes for Manchester City are Stefan Ortega, Kyle Walker, John Stones, Jeremy Doku, Julian Alvarez, Sergio Gomez, Mateus Nunes, Oscar Bob and Rico Lewis. And for the home side, let's bring you the Fulham team as well. In goal is former Arsenal player Leno, Castagna, Diop, Bassi, Robinson, Paulinho, Iwobi, Willian Pereira, Decadova-Reid and Muniz. The substitutes are on the screen for you. Brownie, let's react to that Manchester City team. One change. Kyle Walker out, Ruben Diaz in. Strong team.
Yeah, really, really strong side. Obviously, the flexibility, what Akanji brings you. If he's going to be in that right-back position, he can step into the middle areas now. Interesting, the choice was no John Stones. It's Diaz. Ake, who's done so well, by the way, lately. Guardiola pushing down that left-hand side, getting better and better, getting into goal-scoring positions. And then from there on, it's just what happens in the wider areas. We generally know Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne, Haaland are going to be in there. Phil Foden flying, Bernardo going so well. Flexibility there with Phil and Bernardo to move around as well. So really, really strong team. I think the only one really you would say would be the Walker. Absence when it's your captain. Is that towards Tuesday going back to Spurs? We never know. There could be a slight knock with players. But interesting that everybody can step in and contribute.
Absolutely. Let's talk about Mateo Kovacic as well in midfield. He's starting as well, and Bernardo out on the right. When Bernardo, Mateo, Kevin and Rodri and Phil are in the team, there's a lot more control there, isn't there? And I think that's what they'll be going for based on that team.
I think the experience is there now. I think from the team, we're able to understand what the manager wants. The big games, the detail, they take it on so quickly. And in game changes, they can do it so quickly. The manager can just say, flip that, let's go with that, stretch it a little bit more, make those runs from the 2-8s, whether Kovacic is allowed to go, whether it's Bernardo, Phil Foden inside. It's always a second guessing at which one he's going to be. But it's just about maybe a little bit quicker service into Erling Haaland. I think there's been a little bit of disruption for Fulham in those centre-back areas. So we'll see. I think it's just having that calm, coolness. People have just been talking about how cool the players are. Will they feel the pressure? I said I don't really feel the pressure for them. I just think they'll have to do the job. You need a bit of luck at times, because it's getting to that stage now where only 3 points will do.
Now, last week in the title race, it was Arsenal who played first. We're playing first. As a player, does it matter? You just know you've got to win your 3 games, or is it psychologically nice to have that edge?
It is nice. I mean, you know, when you're looking last week and there's a few crazy decisions in the Arsenal game, you wonder what's going to happen with that. Then the comfortable win, Declan Rice with that late goal, and then the pressure's on. You know, you've got to go and take it on. And then they did. Fantastic. Haaland getting 4 goals. It tells you everything about the performance. I think it was a really top performance last week. Under a touch of pressure, they controlled the game. Lots of goals. And it was a great outcome. But, you know, it is just one of those. When you're playing next, if you can go win this, Arsenal travel to Manchester United. I know Manchester United are not playing well at this moment in time, but with the players they have, they can cause an upset, and they will be nervous. They'll say not again. City have gone and done it. I think this time it really notches that pressure up if City can come away with the 3 points today.
Well, that is your Manchester City team news. Now we're going to head back to the studio, and we're going to be on the wall in the studio to speak to our guests, Kit and Shaun, and of course Natalie. Natalie, how are you doing?
Hey FG, hey Michael Brown, hey everybody, welcome to Matchday Live. FG, talk to me about these highlights. Look at these highlights.
She's already asking about the hair.
Wow.
Now, you've got to let me know what you think, you know. I'm trying to impress you every week, so let me know what you're
Shaun and
thinking.
Kit, what do you rate the highlights?
I'm going for it. I'm having it only because I've got highlights, but mine is great. You've got this golden touch there.
Praise from the goat. I'll take that all day.
Kit, what do you think of the highlights?
It's not bad, is it? It shocked me a little bit. It's a little bit of something different.
A little bit of product in there, FG, as well.
Trying, aren't you?
Well, listen, if we win the double, I'll go blue, all right? So we'll head to the studio now. Great to see you all looking so great. Shaun, go. I love the podcast. What a guy.
Right, you heard that here.
Yes.
Thanks, FG. Thanks, Brownie. If City win the double, FG's getting blue highlights. You heard it here. We will make him do that. Welcome to Match Day Live. 3 Premier League games left, 3 wins, and City will win their 4th Premier League in a row. I'm joined in the studio by Shaun Gota and by Kit Symons. Thank you very much. Lovely to see you both. How are the nerves, Kit? How are you feeling today?
Quite relaxed, to be honest. Yeah, I think everything's going to be all right. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty calm.
I'm the same, which is very unlike me. How are you, Shaun?
Well, I'm in a panic now. If you're calm, I'm in a panic because normally you're the ones a little bit like, I'm not sure. I'm similar to Kids and yourself, actually. I'm really calm because I think the players are that experienced. They understand these games. They understand the magnitude, the importance of how to control the game. So I'm fairly calm.
I'm very calm today and think maybe it's partly because obviously Erling Haaland has hit form at the right time in the season. Of course, he starts today. 4 goals he got in the game last week against Wolves. What a time, Kit, for the man to hit this level of form again.
Well, it's perfect. And City seem to do that. They do hit top form just when it really, really matters. And, I mean, who better than him as well? You know, he's the key one for banging in the goals and making things more comfortable. So, yeah, it's great to see him hitting form at the right time.
Shaun, I almost feel like he was like, OK, there's a few of them that are trying to take this golden boot from me. No one's having this golden boot. And then he just whacked out 4 last week.
Yeah, this is what we love about him, you know. I would never, ever criticise him because if he was to go 2 or 3 games and not score, I wouldn't criticise because when he hits form, he's capable of hitting hat-trick, 3 hat-tricks on the bounce. And it's just phenomenal. And I think what's really great when we look at today's team, you got Foden that could supply him, Kevin Bruyne that could supply him, a number of players that could supply him. Rodri, we see there, that particular goal there,
Shaun.
that's the corner of the 6-yard box where he's heading that ball. I mean, that's a phenomenal header. I don't ever recall scoring a header from the corner of the 6-yard. And to have that accuracy, that leap, it just eliminates the goalkeeper as well. I mean, a perfect ball, the timing of the leap. The defender's got no chance. The defender's thinking is probably running out the other side. And next thing he's like, oh, he's right here on my shoulder, heading it back in. Phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, if you were defending that, Kit, is that what you'd have been thinking?
It's so hard to defend because he's literally got everything. And, he's had a little bit of criticism from some certain quarters this year and he's going to get the golden boot again. So he's not done bad, is he?
Not at all.
Love it. It was just an incredible finish there. You mentioned Phil Foden as well. I'll never tire of reminding people that he's won the Football Writers' Player of the Year this year, of course, alongside Bunny in the women's category as well. He's probably going to win a load of other awards. He's got 3 Premier League games, 1 FA Cup game to go. I just feel like he's going to have a storming end of the season like he's had all season.
Yes, and the thing about Foden, he's for me, he's consistent, and I love the energy he brings. He brings energy out of possession and in possession. When he's got the ball, he receives balls in these low pockets, gets himself turned, and he drives. He plays a disciplined role if he's out wide because we need to stretch the back four or keep the fullbacks honest. He stays and holds those positions. And I'm just pleased for him. And I've said a couple of years ago, I said he will be up for the Ballon d'Or because, again, he's just been consistent. And I'm really pleased for him,
Yeah, he absolutely has to be in the top 3, the top 2 of the Ballon d'Or, you would suspect.
Yeah.
Obviously, depending on how the Euros go for England as well. other players in the team are hitting form at an incredible time as well. And I've been so impressed with Guardiola in the last couple of months, really, Kit. I mean, he's been in amazing form attacking as well as defence. So he's had 3 goals and an assist in his last 6 games. He's in cracking form right now.
Excellent, yeah. I mean, he's other than the Palace first half where he picked up a bit of a knock and came off, and Akanji came on for him. He's been superb. I mean, that strike with his right foot was absolutely incredible at big moments, and he just seems to be getting better and better, getting forward more and more. To start with, early on in the season, he was getting forward but was staying wide. But now, as you see here, he's coming in field a lot as he gets into those advanced areas and getting shots away and really helping out with the attack. So, no, he's been brilliant and continuing to improve and impress.
It's really exciting to see him now, isn't it, Shaun, settled in?
Yes. What's really interesting is, I remember when João Cancelo was playing left back, and he used to end up in those areas like in a 10 position, and he was scoring and assisting from there. And you don't necessarily think it. You don't think of Guardiola in terms of being, but we're just seeing goals there where he's in those areas. And I think what we realise now as well is probably I've realised he has a really good strike. He has, because I normally think of him more of a defender, a really good defender that could also do a job offensively when need to. But when he's in those areas, we see what kind of strike he has. So be interesting to see if he's pushing up and getting into those areas throughout the game as well.
I think it's been really interesting with our back four this season to see the different rotation that we've had, because of course we've got Walker's dropped to the bench today. It's Akanji Diaz. Diaz is back in, who was poorly last week. So Akanji Diaz, Ake and Gvardiol. But in terms of Gvardiol, he's cemented this place now, Shaun.
Yeah, it just seems like whoever plays there plays consistent and plays well. You know, I've seen Ake play there and I thought, oh, he's played brilliant. And I sit there and think, don't change it, don't change it. Guardiola's there and you think, don't change it, don't change it. And there's such consistency. But again, he in his own way, he plays his own way, but does the job and does it perfectly in terms of he has the pace, he has the physicality that if there are more physical players that come up against him, he has the strength to deal with them, the intellect, the intelligence of executing what Pep is looking for. So he's just done really well. And it hasn't taken him, you know, you get some players come in, it hasn't taken him ages at all, and it's just been really impressive. And we're now seeing the offensive side of his game, where he's now contributing offensively to driving in and becoming another extra body, making it difficult for the opposition.
Very, very much so. We're just seeing a shot there. That is Pep currently at Craven Cottage. It looks like the sun is absolutely shining down. We're having a glorious few days here in England, which we don't really say very often. And Pep looks pretty chilled. Oh, he's having it. All right, he's going to do a sit-down interview there, it looks like, or he's doing something. But he looks pretty chilled today, and I very much like to see that. In terms of the defence as well, Kit, I think it's been really interesting. John Stones obviously had a few injuries. He picked up a few injuries throughout the season. Since he's come back, he's not got back into the starting 11 yet, which, considering over the last 3 or 4 years, he's probably been our best defender. It says a lot about the form of the other defenders.
It does, and I mean, Pep's sort of thrown away the book, really, because for really successful teams, you generally get a really settled defence. But City's has changed so much, but the quality of the players that can come in, you can make these changes. And, you know, people talk about a rotation higher at the pitch. We've had a rotation with our back four, which is so unusual, but has been really, really effective. But like you say, all these other players, and Coach was saying, Ake at left back, Akanji came on against Palace and was superb at left back. So many different options all across. And everyone then, when they get their opportunity, they're so keen to impress. They come in and do really, really well. So it's a great sort of problem for Pep to have. What's your back four? He probably doesn't even know these days, because they're all so good.
It's an unbelievable 6 defenders that we've got that can really sort of play versatilely across that back four. We played Fulham around about this time last season as well, April the 30th. Again, another one of those games where we knew we had to win it. City won that day. The winning goal coming from Julian Alvarez. Julian Alvarez, who of course got a goal last week against Wolves again, which again was great to see for his confidence levels at this point in the season, Shaun. Yeah,
well, the man who's won it all, and in his particular goal, he receives that ball, and the touch absolutely kills the defender. This one here.
Oh, Shaun.
That's just quality. He's a technician in terms of his ability to shoot. Again, from this distance, gets the lock there with the ball, still being able to keep the ball. He's a phenomenal player, but I'm sure he'd love to play every game, but in front of him is Haaland. And what's good is Pep could have that rotation, but he could also play him in an 8 position, so he doesn't necessarily have to play him as a 9. And he comes in, scores goals, plays consistent. If he plays up top, plays consistent. I find it amazing that how we're able to, as Kit was saying, it's like these players come in and they perform at such a level. Because it's not easy if you're not playing and got that rhythm week in, week out, to then come in, you've not played in the last 2 games or something like that, and then you come in and then you're at the same level as though you were playing consistently. I find it really amazing how we're able to maintain those levels.
Yeah, to come off the bench and to do that, like you say, but I feel so happy to know that he's there on the bench in good form, in confidence, knowing, so that always makes me feel better.
Yes.
I just want to take a moment because I feel often I'm guilty of it. We talk about how strong the defence have been doing in terms of like the clean sheets and the players. We talk about the guys that are scoring the goals or assisting the goals. And often we forget, and not because we take him for granted, because he's absolutely the best player in the world. And his name is Rodri. And he's 71 games now in a row. He's not been beaten. I was furious that he didn't get a nomination for the Premier League Player of the Year because he goes under the radar constantly, Kit. And I feel like that's a compliment because he set such standards that we just expect it.
It is, and that's what he wants. He almost wants to go, he wants to do that unnoticed role almost, but it's so important for the team. And, I mean, just the stats speak for themselves with the unbeaten record when he's playing. But he doesn't want to be flashy. He doesn't want to catch the eye. Now, he has stepped forward with some goals, which he's added to his game, even more so over sort of this season and last. Obviously, important goals last year as well. But yeah, he does that role that is just so important for his teammates, and the other players will just love seeing him on the team sheet, knowing that he allows them to go and do their jobs.
It's such you need such intelligence to play that role, and one, he puts out fires, and you expect the 6 to put out fires. But the intelligence that he has, and sometimes knowing that I can just drop into the defensive line that allows the centre-back to step forward, I can now push over on a certain angle. So when his player now releases to go press, he then receives the ball, and then he's now being able to drive and pass forward. And as Kit said, he's now adding goals to his game. So he's just putting it all together, and again, the intelligence, the recognising when to be up high, when to connect with things up high. Such an intelligent player, really is, and he don't go missing in my mind. I see him and I see the job he does. It's phenomenal. It really is.
Oh, I love him, Shaun. I just wish he'd get the recognition from the rest of the world, but I feel like he doesn't even care because he's winning all the team trophies. Yeah. So that's the City starting 11 for you today. We're going to have a look at the Fulham starting 11 now. One enforced change for Fulham. Lukic missed out through injury, and he's replacing the starting 11 by Bobby Decordeva-Reid, who captains the team as well. So that is the Fulham team on your screen now. Kit, for you, who's the sort of standout player in that team?
Yeah, Pelini is still very, very important to the way they play. Obviously, Muniz has been scoring goals, has had a lot of attention, but Pelini is so important to the way they play. He's a big player for them. Yeah, he's obviously linked with a move to Bayern just before the deadline, which didn't happen. But he's vital to them.
Look at that stunning view, by the way. Wow. What a day down there today.
Looks absolutely gorgeous.
The away fans will be having a day out, by the way, Shaun.
Yes.
There'll be some sunshine drinks down there today. So that's Fulham's team on the screen there. For you, Shaun, what have you made of Fulham this season?
Just going a little bit back to that point, I think Iwobi and Willian, I think, will be really key because, one, their experience, and they, as experienced players, the understanding of being senior players in the Premier League and all of that, I think they're sort of key to when Fulham break, or they can do a role that goes, you know what, we're just going to do a really good defensive role and help to protect. But because they also have that ability to break, I think they become really, really important because, as Kit says, Paulinho, I think, is the one that's going to be in there trying to break stuff up. And his game will be affected if he picks up an early yellow card. So he's got to go about his business in a really good way.
He's going to get a yellow card. It's just a matter of when he gets a yellow card. Paulinho, it's a yellow card waiting to happen, but it's a matter of when.
Yeah.
So he picks that up. So.
And so I think those two are really key to how Fulham have success in the final third as well, in terms of going forward. delivering crosses, assists, and getting on the end of crosses when the ball's on the opposite side as well. So they become key for Fulham.
I'm very much hoping that Fulham are on the beach today, but if they are not, they've had really good results at Craven Cottage this season. They've beaten Arsenal, they've beaten Spurs, they've picked up the majority of their points this season. I think it's 29 of their 44 from games at Craven Cottage. So they are a lot more dangerous when they're at home, Kit.
Yeah, good defensive record at home as well. They are. I saw them the other week against Palace, and they looked like they were coming towards the end of the season, to be fair. Palace were really bright, started first 20 minutes, sort of blew Fulham away. So there was talk of them being on the beach, but I think that could almost work against City a little bit today. There's pictures of Fulham players flying kites and stuff in the week. But I think because it's been brought up and people have been talking about it, that will be Silva's pep talk in the changing room. Marco Silva telling to his team, people think you're on the beach today, go and prove them wrong. So that might work against City a little bit, I think, with that. But City will still be so strong and up for it today for sure.
Leno's been saying in his pre-match interview as well, and he's been saying this week he's been getting a lot of calls from his former Arsenal teammates as well, asking him to do something for them.
Yeah, well, I think it makes no difference because for me, I think what's key is City start well. When you're in a position like Fulham, you know, you're comfortable in the mid-table, you're not really going to move between the next three games or so, you're really comfortable where you are. But to get them on the beach, to make sure and assure that they are on the beach, is starting well. And if City were to start well in the first 25 minutes and were to score a goal, or definitely were to score two, you'd find they are on the beach. But as long as the game keeps going and they're in with a chance of keeping it as a draw, they stay in tune because they then know, oh, we could be causing an upset here. We can be upsetting the whole psychology of what's happening with Man City. So they'll still be giving that effort. But once you get an early goal or two, I think that's when the game will fizzle out in terms of City will then go and score a few more goals as well.
Yes, please, Shaun Goater. I'll take a goal or two early on in this game. That would be lovely. Right, we're going to go back now over to a very sunny Craven Cottage where FG and Michael Brown have been joined by Example.
Yes, welcome back to Craven Cottage. Me and Brownie have been joined by a very special guest, Example, who's a Fulham fan. We've had you on MatchDay Live before. 12:30 kickoff. How are you feeling from the Fulham perspective?
Yeah, mate. Like I'm buzzing. Like I live about 200 metres away. Played Ministry of Sound last night. I ain't had much sleep, but and then I'm off to Cardiff. Probably leave just for the final whistle. But I'm excited because the Premier League's been so unpredictable this season. My gut tells me City are going to win by 3 goals, whatever the score is. But I would love it just to make the last few weeks of the title really exciting.
And how have you found Fulham's season? Do you know, Paulinho staying? That was a big call, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was a massive bid in for him. He's been the star, that number 6. We've got Rodri, who does a similar sort of job for Man City. Has he been the star performer?
I think, yeah, Paulinho's been, without a doubt, he's our player of the season. It's what he does on the ball, it's what he does off the ball. He never misses a tackle. All of his pass completions, unbelievable. Obviously, Muniz has come in.
He's done well, hasn't he?
He's done well, especially because we bought Bruyne from Chelsea for, I think, maybe 4 or 5 mil or something silly. So the fact that Muniz has come in and just gone, nah, like you may be a Chelsea sub, but I'm going to stake my claim. And it's been a rocky last few months as a Fulham fan, but I'm just glad we're in the Premier League.
Good here though, aren't you? At home, the form's decent.
Yeah,
but
we're decent.
Mooney has realised that if he didn't perform quickly, he was going to be in trouble because everybody kept coming in the door.
Exactly. Yeah. I think as a Fulham fan, you want to be in the Premier League because you just get to see amazing teams like this every week, and I think we deserve to be here. We've got an amazing ground now, but as a Fulham fan, it's a rollercoaster. You honestly, you don't expect to win 5-0 one week and then lose 3-0 the next week. And you don't expect to go to Old Trafford and snatch a win. But it's been an amazing season. I just think to be a football fan, probably in my adult life, the most exciting season on record, right?
Well, Bernd Leno, your goalkeeper, has actually come out this week and he said he'll do everything in his power to stop Manchester City as a former Arsenal player.
Arsenal player, yeah.
How are you feeling from a Fulham perspective? Is there a side that you want to win the league? Obviously, Arsenal being another London club, or is it just a case of you want to win here and you just want to do your job?
Obviously, I realise who I'm talking to right now, but I think, from a neutral's perspective, if you're watching the Premier League from anywhere else in the world, it's more exciting if different teams win every year. Some of my best mates are City fans. I've got a lot of mates who are Arsenal fans.
I don't know where this is going here, by the way. I'm not sure where you're going to go
I'm
with it.
excited for my Gooner friends to win. Like, I don't think it's going to happen, but I would love them because they've been desperate for so long. I'd just like to see a smile on some of my Arsenal fans' faces for once.
I think they'll be smiling anyway, based on the season, won't they, Brownie?
No, you're never smiling if you don't.
Smile if you're second.
If you're second, that's not good enough ultimately.
Exactly,
and
mate.
There's been a bit of flying. Is it right? Kite flying around the Fulham training ground this week. Have you seen that?
I don't know where you're going with this, mate.
So there was a video that got released on social media of the players actually just flying kites in the training ground.
All right.
What do you make of that for preparation?
That must be some kind of weird team-building exercise that I'm not aware of, but yeah. Go on, Fulham. Go on, you Whites. The kite-flying Whites, go on.
Right, before we head back, we need a quick score prediction from you. How do you see the game going?
I'm going to go, I hate to say this, but like my heart says 3-2 Fulham, but I think it's going to be like 4-1 City.
I think we'll take that, won't we?
We absolutely will. It's an absolute pleasure to see you again. I hope you have a great day. No doubt you absolutely smashed it last night. Any plans for the future? Any more gigs coming up?
I've got about 25 gigs left this summer. Just have a look at my Instagram on my website and catch me somewhere. I'm off to Cardiff after this, so...
Well, you have a great rest of tour, and it was a pleasure to see you. Let's head back to the studio.
Pick my mum up.
We just found out that Kit's going to Cardiff straight after as well, the show today, but you're not heading to an example gig.
I know, I've got to pick my mum up and bring her back to...
She's going, though.
Yeah, she's
Love that speaking to example there. I want to take the mick out of the way Michael Brown said kite flying. Is that right? Is that what he said? But I couldn't work out how to say it wrongly.
Yeah,
Kite flying.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, so we'll let Brownie get away with that one. So thank you to FG and to Michael Brown, who are down at a beautiful Craven Cottage today. And there you go, there's the players running out to warm up in the beautiful 2 days of sunshine that we get here every year. This is it, we are done. Of course, Craven Cottage was a very memorable place for you, Kit. You played there, you managed there, you signed from City to Fulham in 1998, played alongside Chris Coleman at centre-back. What was your kind of key sort of outstanding memories of your time there?
Well, that first season I signed from City, obviously, great times. Kevin Keegan was the manager, Mohamed Al Fayed was the owner of the club, and everything was really on the up, and it was just such a great time to be at the football club. Like, Mohamed Al Fayed was bringing all these celebrities along to games, and Michael Jackson turning up, and Tony Curtis, Keith Allen was there most weeks with a little Lily back then. So it was fantastic times. And on the pitch, I mean, that first season I ended up scoring 11 goals and we won the title and everything.
From centre-back?
From centre-back, yeah. I'm not sure quite how that happened, but yeah, scored 11 goals, and it was just a brilliant time at the club. So, yeah, I had an absolute ball down there, I've got to say.
You got the promotion to the Premier League in 2001 under John Tigana. That was Louis Saha's season.
Yeah, I was back there the other week to see Fulham against Palace, like I say, and King Louis was there receiving a Forever Fulham award. And that season, when we won the championship, he was unplayable, absolutely phenomenal, Louis, and such a great lad as well. But he was a brilliant player.
You loved playing at Fulham. You also loved playing at Fulham for City because you had 8 goal involvements, 5 goals and 3 assists. Your joint most in Walsall and Fulham that you played against. So you very much enjoyed your time when you played Fulham.
Yeah, they were very welcoming. Shaun, come in. The goal's there, son. The goal's there. No, it was always, there were certain clubs that I just enjoyed, and sometimes you look at a fixture and you think, I could get a goal there, because I typically tend to. So you have that inner belief sometimes before games. But yeah, Fulham was one of those.
It's a great picture, by the way. Look at this picture.
I don't know.
What are you putting your head there for? He's fouling me there, so come on.
Where is Kit's hand going as well? Like down the back of his shirt?
You know what I mean? This is something here. I'm saying 2 feet. My supply then at the time, I tell you what, it's a bit suspect.
Kit, by the way, that's like Erling Haaland level athleticism there, like getting that high.
I'm not sure. I've got 2 hip replacements now. That's probably why. It all stems from that. It's your fault, Coach. There you go.
Now, Shaun, Kit, don't worry. Shaun, you once scored a hat-trick at Fulham in a game where Kit was playing it as well. But we just want to say, Kit, that you went off at 1-0.
I did. I read the script, I think.
Yes, were you like, Shaun's on it today?
I'm glad
going to leave.
I think I tweaked my hamstring chasing after the lad, like, trying to catch up with him, and went off then. I sort of read the script, saw what was going to happen, I think.
Well, I'm glad, because I'd have got more tackles like that.
Was that a tackle?
I'm telling you. Yeah, good stuff, that. I don't recall the goals, but again, certain grounds, and you know, Kid Symons was a physical player, so for me, any balls that were coming into me, I'd prefer something that was a bit down the side. And you know, he'll be whispering in your ear, none of that today, mate, none of that today. So I'm just thinking I need to probably go on the other side, get some joy over the other side. But always when you play with players and then you play against them, you want to try to do well. And I'm sure Kit was thinking the same thing. Not today. He'd have been in the dressing room. Whatever you do, Goats, don't get nothing today. It's just one of those things, yeah.
Well, you did. You got a hat-trick, Goats. You got a hat-trick that day.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Thank you very much.
You're there, kids.
No, what's that? Sorry.
I love hearing the memories. Thank you so much. So we're going to go back over to Craven Cottage now. A little bit earlier on, FG managed to grab, my favourite, Ellie McCoist.
Thank you very much. Welcome to Craven Cottage. Here we are pitchside, and we're joined by the man with a 100% record here on Matchday Live. Yes. Ellie McCoist joins us here. Mate, it's a big game. The title race, 3 games to go for Manchester City. It is in the period now where we have to win.
Yeah, that's for sure. But do you know something? You have been winning. I mean, the record's been phenomenal. I was just obviously checking the stats. I think the last 20 league games, I think the boys have won 16 and drawn 4. When you look at it like that, it's remarkable that there's still a title race going on. But you're absolutely spot on. It's get the point now there cannot be any slip-ups, no points dropped. Just got to look to win your 3 games, obviously taking them one at a time.
I have to ask you as well, as a player, when you're involved in title races or when you're involved with teams around you, you have the opportunity to get 3 points earlier than them. How big is that for psychologically for both sides?
I actually think it's massive. I really do. I would never undersell or undervalue that. I mean, you're correct. The 3 o'clock games, by all means, I think probably coaches and managers, has been well documented, would probably prefer it. However, if you've got an opportunity to go out there 2.5 hours, the best part of before, and get 3 points in the bag, I don't care what anybody says, it does put a good level of, pressure on the opposition.
And Fulham as well, from a Fulham perspective, they've not really got much to play for, but that also means that they become a little bit dangerous because they're a lot more free, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're playing against a team that obviously safe, and you say not a lot to play for, I get that, but at the same time, a real opportunity, as you mentioned the word freedom, they've got a freedom to go out there and express themselves against the best team, for me, in Europe still.
If you're a player and you're coming into this, a Fulham player, you've got the opportunity to write yourself in history in a way to sort of shape how the title race goes. Is that how a player's mentality works?
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt that some of the Fulham players would quite enjoy throwing a spanner in the works, in the City works, if you like. But clearly the most important thing from their point of view, they'll just want to get 3 points themselves. There's a level of professionalism which you would expect and is obviously there. That will be on show from the Fulham players today, to go out and get 3 points and do well, perform well, and perhaps score a goal or 2. And in doing so, if they throw a spanner in the City works, then so be it.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll definitely love the opportunity to do that. Let's talk about Julian Alvarez. He's got a sensational record against Fulham.
I think it suits him, actually, if you like, going under the radar a little bit from some of the other players, particularly Haaland, and I think he's one of these players who'll never let you down. He's totally committed. I mean, you look at the record he's got. His record he's got is phenomenal, and I think he quite likes going under the radar, and I expect we'll see him at some point today for sure.
Well, I hope so. Indeed, I have to ask you as well, before we head back to the studio, what your prediction is for the game.
3-1 City.
3-1.
There you are. Not messing about.
Well, we will take it. Listen, Natalie Pike's in the studio. Got a message for Natalie?
Yes. Sorry you're not here, Natalie. Beautiful sunshine. We'll catch you next time.
Love you, Ali. Love you, Ali. Thank you so much to FG and to Ali McCoist there in the beautiful Craven Cottage sunshine. So 3 Premier League games to go for Manchester City, 3 wins, and we win the Premier League. And then, of course, there is an FA Cup final to follow after that. And hopefully giving us some momentum, giving us some good luck. Last night, we picked up the FA Youth Cup. A huge congratulations to Manchester City's under-18s team for the wonderful, wonderful 4-0 victory last night against Leeds. I was there and it was brilliant to see how well they did, particularly in the second half, how dominant they were throughout the 90 minutes, and to pick up the FA Youth Cup trophy. Just an absolutely incredible achievement for them. That was a goal there by Jaden Heskey. So it was 4 goals, 4 different goal scorers for City. Shaun, it's just the pinnacle of youth football to win this competition.
Yes, it is, and it just shows you the progress. Some of these kids were with the under 16s. Looking at them, it's just really good. I mean, you look at them and you see signs of our first team. When you look at there's 2 goals in terms of how they were operating on the right hand side. Here's a situation, obviously, where City's counter-attacking. Nice, tidy finish. It's absolutely brilliant. This is young Matt. He's a typical sort of old-fashioned centre forward. He loves finishing, loves to be counter-attack situations or receiving balls on the back foot and getting half-turn. That's absolutely brilliant.
I love these celebrations. They're creeping further forward and forward and forward and forward and forward off the podium that was specially built for them. But that's what it means to them. That's what this competition means, Kit.
Absolutely, yeah. It is the pinnacle of youth football. I mean, it's fantastic to win the trophies, but the most important thing is bringing players through to your first team. That's what the idea of the whole process is about. And they're looking at the likes of Rico up with the first team squad doing fantastically well. So they're thinking, yeah, great, I can win the Youth Cup, but I've got the chance of becoming one of these superstars in the City first team group as well, which is what they all need to aspire to, and I'm sure they do.
The last time City won it in 2020, Oscar Bob was on the bench. On the bench, Shaun! Yeah. So, exactly like Kit says, it's aspirational for these kids. They know what this competition means and they can see Oscar Bob, Rico Lewis, Phil Foden breaking through. Exactly.
And these players now haven't just won it. Some of them will be like, right, my next step is to push on. Can I start to get invited to be training with the first team? Once Pep starts to see eyes on them around the first team, then he's able to go, this one has really got the qualities to stay in it and invite him and have him come over a lot more. So this is really good. And well done to Ben as well.
Very well. Well done to Ben. Well done to the whole team. 20,000 people watched that game last night. So huge congratulations. Manchester City won the FA Youth Cup. So back over now to Craven Cottage, where a little bit earlier on, a very, very small FG got to interview a very, very big Peter Crouch.
Yes, thank you very much. Welcome back to Craven Cottage. I'm joined by Peter Crouch. Now, first things first, you've got sensational memories of playing at Craven Cottage, which you just told me off the camera.
Yeah. I scored in that goal. It was an under-12 County Cup final. First time I ever played in a stadium at Craven Cottage. 3-2 beat Enfield Rangers. Wasn't quite like this.
And what a career you went on to have. And let's talk about your experiences here on this pitch as a professional footballer, not quite under 12s. Yeah. It's a great place to play, isn't it?
Oh, honestly, like you talk to all the players, like I love an old stadium, you know. And although they built the new stand, it's a great place to come and play football. And sometimes that's been to the detriment of Fulham, really, because players love playing here. Great pitch, you know, great facilities. It's not too white hot, the atmosphere, but always a great place to play.
Now we have to talk straight away about 12:30 kickoffs. What was it like for you as a player, and what do you think it'll be like for the players going into today's game?
It's one of those. It's not ideal, you know. Like a preparation for a game, you just get used to a 3 o'clock kickoff. But you know what? Like afterwards, absolutely great.
You've got the rest of the day off, essentially.
Oh, weekend, really.
Is it true that you have pasta for breakfast before game time?
Yeah, like that's what I mean. It's hard to kind of get yourself, you know, the food, the diet. It's not what you're used to, but like I say, I think it's part and parcel of it. You're playing on that day, you might as well get it done in the morning.
I love that way of thinking. That is sensational. I have the same thinking as well. Let's talk about the title race. It's neck and neck as we expected. It was a 3-team race, and it looks like, well, it is a 2-team race. How do you see it going?
You know, I can't see anything other than City. I think, you know, just so dominant again this season. There's so much to admire with the City side. I think Arsenal have done incredibly well to kind of push them this far, really. But I just can't see City letting up. They seem like they're in the zone, and players back to full fitness, fully fit squad. Can't see anything other than City.
Now, in today's game, of course, we've seen Julian Alvarez do well in this fixture. We've also, of course, seen Erling Haaland do well. Who are you most excited to see in the
I love watching Alvarez, absolutely love watching him play. But Haaland at the moment is on fire. You know, I just love watching him play. Looks clinical, looks back to his best. Looks like he's going to blitz the Golden Boot again. So, yeah, for me, especially that type of player, watching him close up today would be good.
It was like watching you play.
Oh, so it's prime Crouch. You
Prime
reminds me
Peter
of that.
Crouch, indeed, absolutely sensational.
So.
Listen, it's been a pleasure. Enjoy today's game, and let's head back to the studio.
Somebody get that man a box, quick. Crikey, the poor cameraman there was having to angle right up. Thank you to FG and to Peter Crouch. So, mention there, of course, of the title race. With 3 games for City to go, let's have a little look at the table. Of course, that game in hand is Tuesday night against Spurs. So, as it stands, Arsenal, 36 games played, top of the league, goal difference of 60, 83 points. So, we sit 1 point behind Arsenal, with a goal difference of 54. So that game in hand is Spurs. That is Tuesday night. So we know we win today, we win on Tuesday, we are top of the league going into the last game. Now, we should say that mathematically Liverpool can still win the league. They would need to win their last 2 games and hope that both City and Arsenal basically don't pick up another point. So, yeah, no. So, Arsenal versus City for the league. Kit, we've just got to be honest here. I know the Liverpool fans might be trying to stay optimistic, but the chance of City losing and Arsenal losing, it's not going to happen. So, City versus Arsenal in a shootout for the race. That's 6 goal difference as well. I wonder if that might end up coming into play. But I'm honestly, Kit, I'm trying not to even think about Arsenal, because the way that I'm seeing it is that if we win 3 games, we win the league.
Well, Pep's all about control, the way he wants to play his football, and he's in control, so he'll be quite happy. You know, it's a big ask, go and win your 3 games, but more than capable of doing it, and that's what he wants. He won't want favours from other teams or to be relying on other people. It's in City's hands. It's in our hands now. Go and win your 3 games, you win the title. He'll be very happy with this situation now.
And Arsenal play Manchester United tomorrow, and they're never going to do us a favour, Shaun, are they?
Man United.
Yeah.
I think they need to do themselves a favour. They need to do themselves a favour. So Arsenal, I'll be favourites to win that game. The thing about Man United is they tend to show up at times like that, and you think they've not had a good season, and I could see them showing up and making it a difficult game. Do I see them winning it? Not really, but I could see them showing up and making it a really difficult game.
OK. I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at it anyway, because like we say to Kit there, the key thing for me is that it's in our hands. It's 3 wins, win the Premier League. I'm not even thinking, like we talk often, we ask often, we've heard FG asking the guests as well, do you like playing first? Do you prefer the psychological advantage? I get the feeling, Kit, that they are just thinking, they're absolutely just thinking about themselves. Whatever time they play, whenever they play, they're just thinking about themselves.
It is, and it's a bit of a cliche, and managers say that all the time, but I genuinely believe that is the case. And it is, like I say, Pep is all about control, and they're in control. That's exactly where they want to be at this stage of the season. Fully focused on your own job and do what you need to do to win these 3 games of football.
And we're so experienced at it as well. I mean, it's not the first time we've been saying we have to win 3, we have to win 4. I mean, we have to win 14 in a row and we'll win the league. We've got so much experience in this, Shaun, that it feels like that's a real positive for us.
It is a positive. The thing is, you know, winning the 3 games, that'll be something the staff will know, they'll be aware of, there'll be conversations that the staff will have. But Pep will be dealing with it and saying, listen, we just got to win this game today. Forget the game after this and the following one. It's about this game. We win this game, and depending on where we're 70 minutes, 75 minutes, depending how the game is going, what the score is, then he's thinking, can we then start to consider the goal difference? If it's 3-0, can we potentially score 1 more to make it 4? Is it 3-1? You know, so depending on how the game is going, that's when he'll start to think of things like goal difference. But at this moment in time, it's just, let's get the game won, perform well, get the game won. If it's 1-0 and we're holding on, it's get the game won. If it's 2-0 and it's comfortable, can we squeeze a 3rd goal? I think that will be his mindset throughout today.
Yeah, you're so true, because essentially, I believe that if we don't win this game, we don't win the league. I don't think Arsenal slip up. I can't see Man United doing us a favour. So yeah, there's no point thinking ahead. Don't win this game, there's a good chance you don't win the league. So fully focused on the game that is at Craven Cottage today. Is a 12:30 kickoff in the Premier League, a 12:30 kickoff UK time. Thank you very much for sending in your WhatsApp questions. As always, you can always send us in your WhatsApp questions for every Matchday live show, and we will always put them to our guests. So the first question today is coming from Hugo. It's a question for the GOAT. Hugo says, how many goals would you be able to score in this current City team?
Ooh, wow. In this current City team, I think I'll score quite a few.
KDB and you linking up?
I'm telling you, I'll be on the move straight away. KDB finds you even when you're not even free. You got, Foden, again, another player that'll find you. Rodri, you see the supply he's given. I would score a couple of goals because I just knew how to find a little bit of space in and around that box. So, I would score a few goals in this team.
You've stayed fully fit for the season, Goat. You'd be on 30.
Easy.
10 of them from
Easy.
Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah. Easy. I would say easy there.
Yes. Love that question. Thank you very much, Hugo. So a question from Alfie. And this is, I like this, Alfie. OK, this is kind of psychological. If you're in a cup final, would you prefer to score a last-minute winner or to win 4-0?
Oh, interesting one, actually.
Yeah. I think the last-minute winner feels like a real relief. So I think probably most people will probably say the last minute. But at the same time, it's nothing better than a 4-0 and the game's done. You go, thank you very much, see you later.
Very different feelings. A 4-0 where you're enjoying the day, I think, and you enjoy the experience.
Yeah.
If a last-minute win is, it's all tense, and then you enjoy that moment. When you score the last-minute winner. But for overall, I think the last minute's always brilliant. Yeah. Always brilliant.
No, I'm done with those last...
Don't want that today. We don't want that 4-0 today. It's not a cup final today, though.
No, thank you, Alfie. I'm done with the nerves until the last minute or the nerves until the 70th minute. I take a 4-0 right now, FA Cup final against Manchester United. Thank you very much. Done and dusted. Thank you, Alfie. Last question for today for right now. Lewis Martins has said, Kit, how would you play against Haaland and Alvarez?
Yeah, good luck is basically. I mean, it's what do you do with them as a pairing? They've got like everything. Obviously, Haaland's physical strength and Alvarez's movement and finding little pockets. You go tight and they spin in behind. You drop off and they turn and run. It's very difficult to do. I'll try and foul them as much as possible. That's the best you can do.
I think it's a brilliant question because I think when you think about today's game, if they try to push up and high and Haaland's pace and De Bruyne's pass and Foden's pass, they'll hurt you. And Alvarez, again, receives balls in pockets and you see the goals that he scores outside the box. If he's facing up and he's just outside the box, his ability to whip shots and get them dipping and curl them into corners, that's why I was never a defender.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you very much for sending your questions into the WhatsApp. Keep them coming in. I'll try and get some more done at half-time and full-time. So we're going to go back over now to Craven Cottage, where FG is standing on a box with Michael Brown.
FG is not standing on a box, but I wish I was standing on a box for the Peter Crouch segment, absolutely. Brownie, we've gone all the way into the show. We haven't spoken about your memories here at Fulham. What was it like playing here?
Do you know what? It's just a really, really friendly club. As I said, a traditional stadium. I was made captain, which was really special. Chris Coleman, wonderful manager. Luis Boamorte, who's the assistant manager here today. Obviously, he was in the team as well. But some good characters. Very, very funny dressing room. Really enjoying my time. It's a friendly place. It's a great stadium, getting better as we've been made aware of. It was a shame I had to leave. I wanted to go back up to the northwest, and that this happens in football. But yeah, real memorable times. And I think one of the best moments in 2006 when they hadn't beat Chelsea, the local rivals, in sort of 36 years. We beat them 1-0. Luis Boamorte scoring here. Shaun Wright-Phillips was in the team for Chelsea actually on that day. But yeah, some good memories. Great place to play football. I think everybody enjoys coming to Craven Cottage.
Let's talk about the rivalry between Fulham and other London clubs as well then, because of course the Chelsea rivalry is huge, but I get the impression that you just want to beat every London club where you can.
I think that's always the case. That is the rivalry. We look for Arsenal, for Spurs, Chelsea, West Ham. Having all those London derbies is difficult when it's mentioned so many times, isn't it, about the title or the success regarding playing lots of those derby games. But I don't think Fulham have too many rivals other than Chelsea, really, and they've been in their shadow for a long period of time. They're getting closer. They're getting a little bit more consistent with what they do. But that's the London game for you. You've got to produce. You've got to win the derbies. And you know, other clubs, I think, have more rivalry. Fulham seems to be that nice club of London that everybody enjoys to play against.
Now we'll head into our final thoughts then for today's game. We are framed towards the away section, which is filling up nicely. What I love so much is when the sun's out, you just see the sky blue, don't you? It's absolutely brilliant.
It is, and the sun is out. There's a little bit of wind. The sprinklers, for all those who don't think the pitch gets water, just getting water behind us. This is a real key moment now. The supporters are getting anxious, a little bit tense, ready to get behind the team as they come out. But yeah, fabulous to see. Wonderful day of football. Glad it's going to be watered. When they walk out, you know, shoulders up, ready to go. It's a big, big day of football. These players for City are always ready for these moments.
How are you feeling from your perspective? Because I think the guys in the studio said they weren't feeling too nervous, which is a bit of a shock. But I mean, it seems very relaxed, doesn't it, around the City camp? We've been lucky enough to see the players warming up behind us. The quality when they're doing their passing drills is crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, we were right on that possession there. It would remind me of a young Kit Symons in the box here at Fulham, gracing the area. He was really good in the boxes, but ultimately, you know, there's real quality there. But when you talk about being phased or nervous or anxious, I am a little bit cautious. I respect Fulham, I respect Spurs, but also, you know, it's one of those, isn't it? When you're in this situation, you're in the dressing room, you're walking out, you do have that feel, and that City players are just ready for it. They understand, they know there's that 4 in a row. They want to go away with a trophy. They want to go with great success, and the manager demands that.
How do you see Fulham approaching the game? Because, like we said, they play a really nice style of play here, and the fans, of course, back them so well. There's a new stand which is open for the first time. City being here, last year it was closed. How do you see them approaching this game? Do you think they're going to sit back a little bit and just try and make it as difficult as possible?
I think Fulham have to sit in and wait and try and delay. At the top of the pitch, they've got obviously Rodrigo Muniz, who's scoring goals. Any little chance across the penalty area, he just has that little bit of a yard. He just touches finishes. If you watch his finishes, that's what he's really good at. But I don't know, sitting too much, you give City the ball, you can then expect it not to touch it for a long period of time. They're going to try and counter. They'll try and press anywhere short, pass into midfield, into Kovacic or Rodri. They will be right on the press, trying to get people away in the wider areas. They will cross the ball wherever they possibly can. I think Marco Silva, Lewis Morte demands that from his team. He'll want to have a good ending here at Fulham. They'll want to get a good result. They'll want to set something positive going into the summer. They've had an OK season. They would have probably liked to have finished a little bit higher up, but they didn't go mad in the transfer market. They kept Paulinho, which was really important. But it's all about City. Their approach has got to be quick. It's got to be a little bit more direct. Little sort of touch and goes, or say little 1-2s, give, go in behind rather than one-on-one situations in wider areas. I think it'll be something like that movement, that third run, that set, slide balls in behind.
Set to be a sensational game here at 12:30, and we are actually on the wall in the MatchDay Live studio. You got a message for anyone?
I think the message is just hope it's a 3 points, hope it's another step forward to the title. We all want to go to Spurs with something riding on it, so a big few days. You've got to get the job done here, put the pressure on, so the message is just take a win however it comes, FG.
Now let's head back to Natalie. Natalie, I'm actually not stood on a box, by the way. But if you could order me one for the next time, I'd appreciate it.
He's wearing platform shoes. FG, the most important question of the day for me is, have you spoken to Josko yet about the hair? Is Josko Guardiola going to get highlights now that you've got highlights?
I don't know if he'd pull it off as much as I would, so we'll have to wait and see, but I'm sure he's got something for me, 100%.
Thank you so much, guys. Enjoy the games, FG and Michael Brown. Pitchside at Craven Cottage. So we are about 10 minutes now away from today's 12:30 UK time kickoff in the Premier League. If you're just joining us, you're very welcome to Matchday Live. Here's a recap of City's starting 11 for today. It is Ederson, Akanji, Diaz, Ake, Guardiola without highlights, Rodri, Kovacic, Kevin De Bruyne, Silva, Foden and Haaland. So that is the starting 11 for City for today's very important Premier League game against Fulham. So 10 minutes to go, Shaun. How are the nerves and how are you thinking this game is going to go today?
Yeah, I feel good. I think when I look at our team, I think there's loads of possession, keeping the ball, controlling the game, even controlling the crowd for that matter. I think they'll try to want to get up at times, and this is why I think we've got so many players in there that can keep the ball. Bernardo Silva, Kovacic, Rodri, all these players could dominate keeping the hold of the ball. And then we've got that threat in behind with Haaland and obviously Foden being able to, and even Kevin De Bruyne. So I think we'll have a good balance. And Kid and I was talking, and I was thinking, if they go and play an open game, Fulham go play an open game, it just becomes like, why are you trying to outplay City? Like City the best at playing. So I think what Bruyne said is right. There'll probably be more sort of a defensive structure and try to break from there. And City are used to or have a plan in terms of when teams have a low block and how to play through.
How do you think Fulham will take on City today?
Yeah, well, they'll try. I mean, they play a good brand of football. Like, the Fulham fans are very happy with the way Marco Silva sets his teams up and the style of football they've shown during the course of the season. So they will try and play, but as Goat's saying, you can't go gun-ho and match City and go toe-to-toe, because City are the best team in the world. You know, so it's they will be slightly cautious, as Goat said, and keep maybe a slightly deeper line. But like I say, it's just so difficult to play. They have to be realistic. And like I say, because there's all this talk about on the beach and the flying of the kites, that will be part of their pre-match talk, I'm sure. And they'll be saying, we can't allow people to be thinking this, because as a footballer, you don't want that said about you. You know, it's not nice. So they'll go into it and they'll be committed. But City scored a first goal, you know, within the first half, then you can see more goals coming, because they have got nothing really to play for, Fulham, and City are City are fully focused, and it's not exactly the first rodeo, is it? No. You know, we've been here before, and they know how to deal with these situations.
I would also add to that, you know, when I think of Craven Cottage in terms of the pitch, the size, if they were to be aggressive and have a game plan and say, we want to be aggressive and try to press City, Addison would actually be on for an assist, because we see how he actually passes the ball at the Etihad. He would be, if he's got receiving the ball and he's got the time on it to just get his eyes up, we know how accurate his passing is. So I think it'd be a little bit foolish if they were to be aggressive, leave spacing behind. Haaland is very quick, and you know, all of our players in terms of if we were to have that transition. So I think they'd be a bit wiser to have a low block and try to approach the game that way.
You heard it here. Shaun is predicting an Ederson assist for today. Give us a full score prediction, Shaun.
Well, I heard things say 3-1. I'm going to go a little different. I'm going to go 4-1 City.
4-1 City with an Ederson assist. Kit?
3-0.
3-0 City. You going for an Ederson assist or just Kevin De Bruyne? I
don't care who gets it. Who gets the assist, as long as it's 3-0.
Well, we can see there is the City team being led out by today's captain, Kevin De Bruyne. There is Manuel Akanji. They are lining up, heading out to go onto the pitch at Craven Cottage, knowing that 3 wins will win us our 4th Premier League in a row. I am suspiciously calm. What is going on? Maybe it's because I know what these guys can do. So you're going to get full match commentary now on the Manchester City app. If you're not currently watching us on there, get onto the app now. And that is with the wonderful Alistair Mann and Michael Brown. We'll be back at half-time and we'll be back at full-time as well, where, you know, hopefully we're saying 2 games and City win the league. So enjoy the game, Blues. We will be back at half-time.
Thank you, Natalie. Welcome to Craven Cottage. It is absolutely baking hot here. And the reality is, as the City players are in that strange area just outside the tunnel, just if you know Craven Cottage at all, it's a very small ground. There's changing rooms and a little sort of walkway before they come out in the corner. And the focus on the City players is absolutely complete ahead of a game that matters enormously to them. Not too much does it matter to Fulham. Just waiting for the signal for the players to make their way out from that strange old waiting area just behind the tunnel that extends from